All right, hello, hello. Sorry about that. Had to get the coffee off the brewer. You guys know I can't function without coffee, especially today. Um, actually, Kip's had me up since midnight, so we'll see how well I function today. If I sound like I'm a little bit loopy, it is not because I have nothing fun in my coffee. It is just lack of sleep. Um, yeah. Oh, I just keep telling myself I love this boy. I love this boy. I love this boy. But man, does he have me tired today. So would love to say that there's tons of excitement this morning. Pound yen's really the only thing moving. Again, a little bit of that is the pound. Seeing pound dollar down 65, euro pound up 10, pound yen down 123. And again, we're seeing the dollar yen down as well. Dollar Smith's totally flat at 3, right? Dollar CAD up a little bit, but again, I'm sorry, oil is continuing to deteriorate a little bit. So that's what we're seeing. So we're about to roll into some news here. Chicago PMI being the first one. We'll see what that does. I don't know if that'll be necessarily a huge um, a huge release today. Consumer confidence, I think, will be bigger. And again, that confident consumer means that people are more likely to spend things. And again, spending, has that direct relation with, again, helping the market. And again, spending is kind of what has kept us from kind of being in a recession thus far. Against a lot of the predictions, were kind of amazed that people were spending as much as they were. But at the same time, one of the things that we've seen with spending, and we may see it, again, we may hear about it with the consumer confidence number, maybe. Um, Debt, right? During the COVID time, people were getting a lot of money, right? People that didn't lose their jobs were basically paying down a lot of debt. What? Come on, chill. Um, People have really started to kind of crank that debt back up again. So we'll see what the confidence looks like on this one. No, I'm not dealing with it. No, go in the other room. Go. Here, take this. Here, take this. If he melts down too much today, guys, I'll probably cut it short. Um, we'll see. Like I said, he's obviously exhausted too, so I was hoping that he would nap on the way home, but he did not. But anyway, consumer debt obviously is one of those things that is obviously risen back up again with people spending. Just inflation, we know it's definitely at a high level. It's been there for a long time. People using those credit cards that they pay down because again, it's America. Once they're empty, that's it. You got to put all the money back on them again, right? We feel weird if we don't carry any credit card debt, right? We're not putting our money to work, right? It's not really our money. It's it's yeah. You guys know what I'm saying. And then tonight we have the unemployment change and some unemployment data coming out of New Zealand. Um, Data is expected to be positive, not overly great. I'm wondering. I honestly don't think the unemployment rate will change too much. The employment change data though, zero point 0.3 is rather low. I'm wondering if we're going to get a little bit higher of little bit higher there, right? And again, that would be overall good. Again, New Zealand is not one of the biggest traded pairs out there. Um, for a little while, it had kind of a competitive advantage a bit when interest rates were high, but when everything got dropped, again, it's not considered to have as stable of an economy. So, it's you know kind of one of those things that again, it's a big mover for New Zealand. It's off hours for the U.S., so we tend not to see as much movement. Does that mean that there's no opportunity there? No, there definitely is. You can trade the New Zealand dollar or New Zealand yen. Either of those two are totally fine to trade it on, just like you would trade any of the other news releases. So, um, but it is what it is. Sooner or later, the tide will go, and then we'll see who's making it. Yep, yeah, yeah, pretty much, Neuro. I think we're getting there. I know people. I know people that have been laid off in tech. And they're having a very difficult time. Like they're having to not even go, what's it called? Horizontal, right? Not vertical. They're actually, they're going more diagonal down, right? People that were kind of VPs of departments and things like that are now going and having to be just standard managers and kind of downgrading, which is not something, you want to see. You think, technology's got to be protected, right? Um, Not so much. Not so much. So we'll see where this eventually ends up. And who knows? Like I said, maybe the spender is going to be so good that we can completely avoid recession. I think there's a lot of changes coming, and again, I think a lot of people are kind of confused about what the Fed's job is. And when the Fed says for a while, I think the general standard trader still thinks that the Fed's going to cut interest rates in 2023. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever said that that's still on the table. I think pretty much across the board, like, not happening. We need to hold it here to make sure that it's gone. And that's not even getting us back to where we were. That's just getting it back to 2%. So, I mean, talk about inflation sticking around. I can tell you right now, there's all the jokes about, egg prices and this and that. And yeah, I mean, gasoline prices, are they here to stay? Are they never going to be below 2? Are we forever stuck above 3? Is that what's there? Um, Interestingly enough, I did see a report yesterday that based off of the end of the year, I thought this was interesting, and we joke about it on the channel about the electric vehicles, and I'd love to get an EV vehicle just for towing reasons. It would be awesome for me, and I don't really drive that far, so it'd be easy. But what they're saying right now is gas prices at the end of 2022, it was actually cheaper for you to run to run a gasoline engine than it was based off of energy prices an E vehicle. So everybody thinks it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna save so much money. I'm not buying gas. It was actually more expensive to run an electric vehicle in 2022 than it was a gasoline engine. So not what the E industry wants to hear, because people are like, oh, I'm buying an electric vehicle. It'd be cheaper because gas prices, they're out of control, right? Because you pay that monstrous premium to get one of those electric vehicles. Well, guess what? Not only did you pay more for the electric vehicle, and again, some of the rebates are still there. Some of them have gone away, but it actually cost you more to actually run it based off of energy prices last year, and they're supposed to go up. Actually, for my local energy company here is BGE, and they just said that the average bills are going up or whatever, $3 or something like that, or the cost of energy was up $3 or something like that for the new year, like per month or something like that. So they're basically giving us this disclaimer of, hey, listen, just so you know, all the energy prices are going up. Everybody else is doing it, so we're going to do it too, right? So, yeah, look for that one. Yeah, I was having a hard time finding a job tech theory. Yeah, it's worse now. Yeah, just because, I mean, tech kind of went, I think, a little bit big, like when people were coming, because again, remember, COVID was like pro tech, right? Right? Because you didn't have to go to an office. You could do your job completely remote, right? It wasn't services based or anything like that. So when everybody else was hiring back, they hired, I mean, even Thinkific said, yeah, we kind of hired too much back, right? We didn't need as much as we did. We expanded too far and, for the projections, and not realizing that, hey, listen, when people are going back and doing the services and, when they're not sitting at home the whole time, they're going to need less stuff, guys. They're not going to be online. They're not going to be buying the video games. They're not going to be upgrading their computers. There's no need to upgrade the computers, right? When you were home, it was great. And part of the problem that they were expensive back then was because you couldn't get parts. But now you can get parts, but nobody's paying to upgrade them because you don't need it because it's only been a year, 2 years. Microsoft, that was their big, chick in the armor. So, yeah. Now, going into tomorrow. So, waiting for Kip to start screaming. He's playing with the door. I'm gonna put the over under on this one. It's not gonna be high, but you know what? He grabbed the remote control of the TV. Ugh, he's entitled. Maybe they just did another round of that. Yeah. I forget. Somebody else just did layoffs too. I actually have a friend of ours who runs. I actually have a food delivery service, kind of like, I can't even think of one, like HelloFresh, right? Like one of those. He doesn't own HelloFresh. He owns a different one. He actually had to lay people off too. We were like, really? Like, yeah. So tomorrow, all kinds of stuff going on tomorrow. And again, I think today's action will probably kind of show us kind of what's going on, right? Where the pre-movement is going to be. All right. We start off early at 5. And that's not early. It's 5, right? I mean, I love to say I was going to wake at 5 today, but I was. But I also couldn't get to a computer to trade today. So I was kind of upset. Right? I was kind of annoyed. Thank God for the Aussie is all I'm going to say. Kip was awake, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to get up and trade. And he melted down, and I'm like, great. He's going to wake up everybody else in the household. So, yeah, I couldn't get up. Right? I had to just sit there and take it. So it was painful. I was being hazed by my child. But anyway, CPI, right? Again, CPI is not the preferred thing. But again, looking at 9%, 5.1 for core, it's still, they're still there. I mean, these are on a yearly basis. It's 5% higher, 9% higher than it was before. Nobody likes to hear that. And everyone was like, yeah, we think we got it under control. But we do know that the European Union is going to be raising on Thursday. So they're going to combat some of that. Now, we have OPEC Plus meetings as well. We could get some headlines about oil. We've heard that they're not going to really change too much up. They want to hold price stability. They want to get a better grasp on price stability. That's their mandate. Their mandate, like all the central banks, their mandates are to, maintain, healthy inflation around 2% because that's, signifying growth. OPEC, their mandate is price stability. So when prices jump $30, $40, that's why they do what they do, because they're trying to hold it and maintain it for planning purposes, for both profit for them, but also for companies. So it's not a bad mandate. Their mandate is right. We already know that. Other news we saw yesterday, if you guys didn't see this one, Iran and Russia have now linked their banking systems. So, the United States is trying to block them out of everything. So they said, okay, great. We'll just, we'll link our systems together. So now they have easier trade between those two countries. Basically, how does it affect us? It doesn't really, right? It doesn't affect us too much. But in the long run, we can keep throwing sanctions on other countries. But when when half the rest of the world is all on separate banking systems to make trade easier for them, how much control do we have over the world, economy at that point? And do they start looking for alternative methods? Again, oil is the perfect example. If half the world, again, if they start to throw sanctions on China, China's got a lot of people. India works well with them as well. You got Russia there. You got Iran there, right? And all of a sudden, Saudi Arabia says, well, wait a second. If half the world, the majority of the people, right, are in this other banking system, we need to make sure that we are selling in both banking systems. It just further erodes the dollar's power, right, and our control. So not necessarily the best thing you want to hear, but we'll see what we get out of JMC, right? I do think we will get some headlines, but I don't think they're going to be anything earth-shattering. I think it's going to be the same price stability. On top of that, obviously, there's inventory, but everybody's going to be looking at the Fed funds and the Fed statement. All right. So although on any other day it would be a big deal, I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal tomorrow. All right. Now, we start off at 8:15 with the non-farm employment change. Now, they're showing not as many people that are getting hired back, but you can see that the accuracy on this one really hasn't been good. They thought it was going to get slaughtered last time at 152 when it came in as a monstrous 234 or 235, right? They're averaging it up a little bit. So we will see. I don't know if it's going to be as big as the 235, but maybe. I was delivered layoff messages before worse feeling. Yeah. I mean, I think everybody's gone through it. It's very rare this day and age that someone hasn't experienced it. I mean, again, I was in pharma. You guys know that I was in pharma for like 10 years or whatever. And again, I won President's Club 1 year, right? We just blew it out of the water. But our drug expired the year after, and the drug that we were going to get didn't make it through the FDA. So they laid off our entire division, right? Everybody. Didn't matter how good you were. We were in top 5% of the entire sales force and got laid off the next year just because we didn't have a drug to go to, right? Now, a lot of us got hired back. We could apply for, we had first opportunity at a lot of, any job that popped up after that. We had first opportunity before they went public, which was awesome. I'm glad that they did that. Merck was a great company. But yeah, it kind of sucked. Yeah, I was like, wow, really? How do you go from, here to zero in like 6 months? It was like, wow, here's your trip, right? By the way, you're going to get laid off. What? My wife's like, I don't understand. How does this happen? It's like, well, that's just pharma. But anyway, non-farm. That's going to kind of set us off in the morning. Thing with non-farm. If this is, and again, this is not the non-farm paper, right? This is just the ADP non-farm, although they do a lot of checks in the United States. I used to work, my first job out of college was ADP. So very familiar with what ADP does and kind of the amount of data they have. If this is a big number again, if they blow it out again, it could be a very rocky day for the overall markets. Now, again, people will be celebrating the 0.25, but I don't know that they're going to be celebrating the 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. And if it comes in really, really strong labor, that's what the Fed is going to talk about. That's what we're going to hear down here. The statements, right? What are they going to say? They're going to say the labor market is really, really strong. We're not causing a recession right now, even though companies are doing layoffs and things like that. Job openings is also another big one. Remember, JOLTS was supposed to get way down, right? They were supposed to take the unemployment rate up to 4.6. We were used to be at 11. So it's great that we're, you can see some of the forecasts down here back in November of last year, like, hey, we're going to break the 10, right? And it is coming down a little bit, but it was 10.33. Then it went to 10.46. Now it's at 10.28. It's not really, they're not really killing the job market as much as they originally thought. So people are getting laid off. And again, it does make sense. Some people will be like, wait a second, you're saying people are getting laid off. What do you mean there's job openings? Here's the thing, right? When inflation was going rampant, people were like, oh my God, remember the whole, quitting thing, right? There were so many jobs out there and people were like, we need bodies. We'll pay you 1.5 times what you're making right now. We just need people to come, right? Well, if you're paying someone 1.5 times and you just got laid off in tech and you can pay somebody 75% of what you're paying that other person, guess what? That's smart business. It sucks, but it's smart business, you know? So again, still a lot of job openings. This needs to come down. So if this number, God forbid, this one's like 10.5, 10.4, higher than, even if it's 10.3, also another big chink tomorrow for the markets. Again, starting off with a bigger number here, big number here, just shows that the Fed is not having as much. The gloom and doom is not there. That could get us red very, very quickly. And then we have FOMC, right? And that's at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So we'll have a lull in the afternoon, and then we'll kick in. And again, we'll talk from now till then, but we won't really have time to kind of adjust to this manufacturing ISM and the JOLTS data, right? Fed fund, I think it's pretty much guaranteed 0.25. I don't see, nobody's going to really necessarily care about this unless it comes in and it's like, I mean, put it this way. They're not coming in at a zero, right? They're not going to do no raise. We know they're absolutely raising. And I think at this point, pretty much everybody besides my buddy has said it's 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, right? He said 0.5, 0.5 is what he prefers. I don't think we're doing 0.5, 0.5. As much as I think he knows what he's talking about, I don't think they're doing 0.5, 0.5. I think it's 0.25, 0.25. But it's the statement that's going to matter the most tomorrow. But big data here, everything should tank. Again, that's right when we start talking. But the way to trade these two numbers is going to be to look in the overnight, right? Look at the 3 o'clock to basically 8, 7:30. See what happens before the markets open, right? That amount of movement is really. But stop hitting the buttons, please. Yeah, Bob. That's what's going to really kind of signify where we are for the open. So tomorrow, opening print. Again, we have a lot of times we're getting on just as the opening print is happening. There will probably be opening print trade setups tomorrow, particularly if it's straight up or straight down. We should see, like I said, we should see some movement from the market. All right. Yeah. With that, let's go over and let's start looking at some of these things. Kip, stop. Go. I'll tell you right now. It's been a long night. If he knocks my coffee over onto the keyboard, I'm gonna only have 3 children. VIX up 1.4%. And now it's kind of one of those weird days again. It's like, hey, listen, Kip, there's all these toys. Can you go play with some of the toys on the floor, please? Right? VIX is into green. You say, oh, God, the VIX is up again. Oh, markets are all going to be red. But that's not the case today. YM just turned red just a second ago, and it's barely holding on, right? VIX is popping up a little bit. And again, there's a little bit of news coming in here right now. But for the most part, we kind of ground our way up. We popped up, and then once we hit that 5:30 time frame, we saw it come right back down again. And it's popping up a little bit. Today, I don't think it'll be as crazy. And again, I think there is going to be a little bit of a heightened stance today, just because, again, we do have FOMC. They are raising interest rates, so it is kind of a big deal. Here, you want this? Yeah. No, we're not gonna. No, stop. It's a really big deal, so we should see some movement in there, but I don't think it's going to be as much as expected. And like I said, if we see all green today, I don't see us having like an earth-shattering, biggest green day ever. But I would not be surprised if the markets go up today in preparation for a drop tomorrow based off of the statements that we're going to hear. Okay. We'll get down. You can get it if you want, but I'm not going to do this. Drop it on the floor, pick it up thing, buddy. The dollar flat, right? Looks like it's down right now, but all we had was the European Open and a retracement all the way back down again, and we're exactly where we were before. So not really much change, right? No, we're not going to play with Daddy's coffee today. He's going to poke at me now with this pencil, I think. Yeah. I'm going to get poked in the eye. If I start screaming, then you guys know I got poked in the eye. It's funny. He doesn't, all morning, like since we've been home, he's been playing. Second I hit live, gotta sit on Daddy's lap, right? So, dollar. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the dollar kind of pull back a little bit today. The reason why is because we know they're raising interest rates tomorrow. Everybody knows, again, when we raise interest rate, it makes the dollar strong. It needs some movement. Right now, looking at this, right? It's very, very easy to take a low to high draw, right? We're going to take a fib draw. We're going to go low to high. It's the easy one. People are going to see that on the screen. And they're going to look at this and say, okay, well, what do we do with this, right? Yeah, where are we? We just kind of bounced off the 50. Is this the bottom for the day? I would say, it could potentially be. The market is going to pre-prepare, what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't think we're going to really have any surprises. I don't think the FOMC is really going to change the tone too much. So I wouldn't really be surprised if, again, this could be the bottom for the day. If we start to kind of grind our way up a little bit, it may do it in the European session, but I'm actually looking for the dollar to go higher. So right now, if you draw this from, again, top to bottom, we're looking for the top 33%. So we're kind of looking, and our opinion is, in that range right there, that's a top 33. We're looking for more short trades tomorrow. If we take the bottom side of it, we're looking for more long trades if we can pull back into this level down here at the 10, kind of the 102 level. In the middle, it's not as clear, right? So I would like to make this easy for tomorrow. I would really like us just to grind over here, hit 3 o'clock in the morning, and then kind of grind up in preparation for that raise. Because what I want to happen is when that raise happens, I want the dollar to tank, right? I want the dollar to tank. I want people to look at that and say, oh, that's good. They just raised interest rates. Again, the market's already factored 0.25 in. So if we move up ahead of time, no. Go ahead. Here, take us down there. We cannot play with that. Here. I'm looking for a short trade going into FOMC, even though that's the exact opposite of what you would normally think. All right. Now, indices. He's about to go in the other room. You want to go in the crib or you want to stop crying? Yeah. Here, you want this? Here, take the puppy. Here. It's going to be one of those days. I think I'm going to probably just deposit him in the other room. You guys won't be able to hear him crying. I will, but you guys won't be able to. So indices, all a little bit in the green now. YM is back up a little bit. Again, doing exactly what we assumed that it would do today. Green is good for today because it sets up the short tomorrow. Now, crude oil now is up a little bit. We see natural gas and crude both up a little, just tiny bit. I'm wondering if there's a headline because they were negative a bit ago. Kip, this is your last chance. You stop or you're going in your crib, bud. Yeah, he's probably going to go to his crib. Kip, stop. It's going to be a long hour for you, buddy. It's going to be a long hour. Yeah. There you go. What's in there? Let's see. Hold on. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's 10. Sorry, I thought this was 9:45. That's the 9:45. Yeah, so PMI was a little bit lower, so that's fine. 10 o'clock. All right. So with the dollar moving around right now, we see commodities all up a little bit. Gold up slightly, 0.1, not big. Silver, again, it is doing double, so I guess technically it's doing what it's supposed to do, but 0.11 and 0.26 is nothing big. So those are not really anything we're concerned about. As far as currencies go, let's dive into the Aussie dollar. So remember I said thank God for the Aussie. I couldn't trade early this morning. Here's why, right? You guys can see it. Here's the Harry Potter that we drew yesterday. And we talked about finding the bottom. And again, pretty clear. Came down, base, pulled back, and there was your entry right here. Okay. It also tagged here late last night, so you could have grabbed either one of these two. You were good, and it went all the way down. This was an easy 25 pips. And actually, if you had trailed this one, the trail actually was pretty nice, right? Looking for somewhat of a reversal pattern, right? Questionable here, right? Questionable here that you may have gotten in. But again, if you hadn't hit your profit target, although this is the 1 to 3, I actually had a target a little bit lower, so I didn't get out here. But once you start trailing here, right, you're looking for that green, red, green. You kind of had one here, but in looking at this pullback in midnight, it's like, yeah, but you know what? This one was trailed to here, right? So although the green, red, green, you're like, maybe we should call it right there. I was like, there's a zone. I drug it to there. And then after that, right? This was a pretty easy one, right? There's a green, but the red broke it. There's a green, the red broke it. There's a green, red broke it. There's a green, the red broke it. Here's a green, red, green, but it was kind of the same thing. We had a level right there that I was like, although it broke it, that's where the sellers are. You're going to put it right there. And you know what happened? It went all the way down, and then there's a green, red. Red went below, green, red, and then once it broke here, you're like kind of like up, drag it to here, and that's where it finally broke. So it wasn't bad. It turned into 1 to 7 right on that trade. So not horrible. And that got me out at 4:30. So that's why I said it wasn't bad, because at 5, when I was like, you know what, I can get up and trade. I was like, I can't. He's not going to let me. It was nice to know that, again, I was basically clean here. I was like, all right, we're set, done, drug it in. And then again, when I went to go to the boys, I was like, there we go. My trade was already in. So again, all that was a trade that we talked about from yesterday. And again, we were talking about a break here. We knew we had a little bit of a racetrack here. We were looking for some basing, and we got it. We hit, we bounced, and I was like, we started basing here, looking for the pullback. And again, all it was a continuation trade, right? So pretty simple. Again, easy Harry Potter, right? Easy Harry Potter. What to do with it now? So again, a lot of people are going to draw this one and look at it this way. You know, those poor people that were looking for the 23.6, they got stopped out right away. And kind of chopped through again. Um, I'd say the 107.65 level, it's not horrible. What are you doing, Kev? What are you doing? You're so tired. You're so tired. Here, you sit here. Yeah. For any with kids, you know when they're sitting there and they just got that kind of sad face and they just keep rubbing their eyes. What? No, here, get down. If you want that, then get down. Don't climb in there and then ask me to get it. He's doing like the rubbing your eye face thing. He's gonna be asleep before the end of chart school. Um, here, you can have that. Sure, you can have this. But this is a big mess right now. This is a big mess, right? Big mess. Big mess. Um, so I think the 70.65 is probably a decent level. I like the way that it kind of just barely touched that one and then took off from it. Is it the cleanest of levels? It's not the cleanest, but it didn't really probe too deeply into that zone. Again, it's a simple area. So I would say depending on the area, or I'm sorry, not the area, depending on the time it hits that level, um, it could be a decent entry. It's got a little bit of room to run right now. It's got about 40 pips up on this one. I don't know that we'll see anything from now till later on tonight, but again, the way that it hits this 50, I think, is probably pretty decent. Because, again, 2 touches, but barely even breached the area. It's the same zone that we're seeing here. And, again, all I'm doing right now is just extending this across. And you can see, look at it. It's the proximal side of that one is, it's literally on that side. So, not a bad little area. All right. ASEAN. All right. So, ASEAN. Our target did get hit yesterday. Right? We were talking about this one coming down, hitting, and then we would see what we do with it. And again, it was a pretty sloppy hit, right? Kind of 2 front runs, it hit again, and pop back out. You're like, yeah, it's breaking, right? It's starting to form a base below, and it did. It kind of went through, broke through the other side. So it was really a no trade. We talked about two little levels over here. So either I would say either of these zones aren't going to work just by the way that it's been chopping back and forth. So if we kind of take this, we can leave that one up top. Let's run this down right now. You can see if people were waiting for the 23, they missed it on that one. Problem with this right now is this is a double bottom right here, right? Exact same level, so can't really do much with that. It is tested here, but I don't think this is going to hold. I think it pushes through. So unfortunately, this is just a slow grind up. Really, until we get down to this 90.50, I just don't feel like there's a whole lot in this one. So I think maintaining this one short, but I don't really have a great entry. I mean, you could play pullbacks on it, and I guess there was a little bit of a pullback there, but really, in looking at these pullbacks, where's a decent base and then like kind of explosion? I guess the 61.8 kind of had a big candle, but look at it. We had touch, touch, touch. There's 3 touches right there. Will it hold? I don't know. So, I mean, I'd say my thinking on this one is bearish. I just don't have a clean entry on it. I guess there could have been a case made here. Once this went down, you could have said that, hey, listen, there's a base. It's right in front of that 23.6, and you could have tried to do that one, and that may still work. But is that is that the ideal opportunity that we're looking for? No, not really. So, it's kind of this one's moving a little bit slow, unfortunately. I don't think we can do much with it today. Euro dollar. So euro dollar popping up, right? Um, Again, you can say 1, 2. There's your 3, right? Or if you're not going to count that one, there's your 3, and you're like, yep, we're breaking, and it did. 4 is what broke through. Kind of gave us a little Harry Potter fake right here, but you can see all we're doing is basing. So, we can readjust this one going forward. Again, you can see that pull up. We talked about it yesterday. It went to its full profit target. So let's pull that. We'll go this way. It's fine. Oh, that's actually not horrible. Right there. Actually, that's probably out already. I hate this. I hate the fact that there's 3 touches already. Hmm. Let me see. What do we got for consumer confidence? Hmm. 107. So not as strong as what they would like. Again, does that change? Does that change buyers and spending? I mean, 107 is a pretty 107 is a decent number, but it is definitely lower than what we had before. I feel like that kind of plays into our hand today. Let me see here. Like we're not getting more movement off of that one. Oh, maybe. Yeah, it did actually. It did actually get taken out. So, all right. So it is clean. You know, I wonder if we can break through that zone. How far is it? 18. All right. So right now, I think we need to mark this level. How far we got for that? 55. Okay, so we're in range of that. Just had a better zone down here. How far are we? 18. So we're kind of in an area here, but we can go in either directions. So that 50% retracement hit from earlier, if you had traded that one, you're good to go. You actually did get out of it for 1 to 3. Now, it wasn't very big. It was like 6 pips worth of risk on there, the zone. So, again, was not a monstrous trade by any stretch of the imagination. I don't want you to think that that was like, oh my God, I missed the greatest opportunity ever. You're only talking about, 18 pips in the other direction. And it turned right after that. So, yes, it did hit a 1 to 3. But it wasn't like anything that you were like, whoa, right? 18 pips below where we're at, though. If you take the most recent, high to low in there, there is, and again, it's a 61.8 level, right? That could be an area that we push down to, and then it becomes like a 12, 1 o'clock type reversal this afternoon. As I said, I feel like we're going to get some dollar weakness coming in on this one a little bit early. Again, dollar weakness during the day today, so we can get that European strength in, right? The European dollar strength coming in the overnight to have it, again, be a short for tomorrow. So it's kind of lining up. I look at what I'm talking about right here is kind of coming down again. A decent area. There is a base there. And again, kind of setting it up here that there's your confirmation touch. The fact that this low to high puts it at 61.8, I think that kind of gives us some opportunity in there. And again, I guess I could just use it off the bottom one, and then the 61.8 kind of front runs it. That gives us a little bit more, 7 pips for 21 in the other direction. Yeah, something along those lines. It's probably a little bit much. Right? Not a monstrous trade, right? Not a monstrous trade by any stretch of the imagination, but could be a decent bounce today as we pull back down. Again, European sent this one kind of straight up, right from this morning. 3 o'clock is where the bottom was. Came back up at 9:15, 9:30, grabbed it, and now we're obviously kind of reversing back again. And again, the news is driving it down, absolutely. But at the same time, it's profit taking is what it is. Oh, no, Bubba's. No, you don't want that. No, Bubba's, that's bad. Yucky. Here. You just found a sippy cup from God knows when. Nope, here you go, Bubba's. Yeah, I don't know where the heck you found that at. So Melissa was like, sippy cup upstairs. So I think either of these two is decent. I think you take one up top, you have the ability to get short. And if we can get down here, I think you have the ability to get long. Again, if we can time it around a session change, I think that's not a horrible thing. But neither one of them is huge. You're talking about 25 pips. Euro pound. All right, this one's popping up. So again, yesterday we got to full completion. Again, it turned at 10:30 and just kind of base. But you can see it's absolutely out. If you didn't get out here, it absolutely went below. You're fine. Again, 1, 2, You could say 3 and 4 if you really want, even though it's kind of the same push and you expected it to break. It did. It went up, it based, it pulled back again to that same level and is now taking off for a Harry Potter on the other side. Now, we knew that we kind of had this here, but we were a little bit concerned about the 61.8, and it did. It kind of used the 61.8 to turn off of. So it's like, I'd say right now, target wise for Euro Pound, there's going to be a level sitting right there. Again, this would be a target, not necessarily an entry, right? What about you making tons of noise right now? Let's just put your bed too. 3.7s, 36, minus 8. Hmm. How about 12? Yeah, I would say there's probably, again, I'm not into this one because it's a 78.6. It is obviously a candle that is not bad. It is a level that people are going to be looking for, and it's probably, dude, you're going to go in the other room. It is a 1 to 3, so it's a target more than anything else. Right now, again, I'll just steal this one because that one's already out and done. This would be a target. If you took a Harry Potter long off of this one, right? What the Harry Potter long would have looked like as it went up, popped, and came back again would have been this, right? 1 to 3 is sitting right there. So it's right before that level. Okay. I'm not in this one, but again, it's the same. Here's down. Here's the violation because of all the hits. There's the base, the pullback, and the long. All right. So again, probably gonna finish here rather soon. But I would look to take profit before you get up to that 88.31. If you get up there, again, obviously take your profit. It's profit first. You would need to get a confirmation bounce to turn and reverse it. Euro, yeah. All right, so euro again. We didn't get back up to the 141.53. We kind of got down here and then just kind of flatlined, right? Yesterday we were talking about going through, right? And it did. It went all the way back down again. Chop, 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 chop. Pull back up, and we're a little bit higher. So right now, I need this one to stabilize itself. I think there's our decent top and bottom. We're far enough away right now. We can use this as our new top. We touched the 78, so here we'll delete it and switch it to the other side. Right now we're looking at this. You can see when I drew this down, right? When I brought this down, the 61.8 happens to be right on where that alert was from before. So I think that's probably a decent level, the 141.51. Turn this trade back live again. Again, we were hoping for another pullback yesterday, didn't get it. But again, the Harry Potter from yesterday obviously triggered and worked out just fine. So yeah, I kind of think, problem with this one is, yeah, we see this one going down. So this one is out. You're still getting that little strength in there. I think this one probably comes down. Like we're getting a nice little push right now, right? And again, this is probably more the yen than anything else right now. It's only 13. That's not that bad. It's not horrible. I like this. I like the way that this burst out. It's kind of been deep here, but then we kind of reestablished. It came down and literally closed, open, and then no wicks whatsoever. So I kind of like that one. It's 14 pips worth of risk, so it's a decent size. We like that. Somewhere right in there. I don't know if we can hold till then. Here's the year over year inflation. I don't know. I mean, I guess we could rally up today. Maybe grab this one. This is the big release for them tomorrow. If we can get down to that level tomorrow, that'd be a heck of a news trade. At 5 o'clock in the morning. You could also do it in the middle of the night too. If this could be like an 11 o'clock tonight in preparation for that news, right? It could push it up, knowing that this is going to be a big number, and then we short going into that number. So yeah, I'd say keep this on your radar. I think that's probably a pretty decent level. Top side. So yeah, this one I'm looking really kind of for 141.53 or 140.60. So I think there's your top and bottom bracket for tomorrow. Pound dollar, again, going down. We talked about this one, all kinds of chopping here. There's way too much, and you can see chop, 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 straight back and forth. Was a decent level here. Was it the European Open? Yeah, it was the European Open. Missed that one. Wah, wah, wah. That's an easy one. That's an easy one. I hope some of you, I hope one of you guys got that one. Oops, it's not a long. It's a short. Yeah, I hope one of you guys got this one. This is a nice little trade. How much risk was this one? 12. Man, right in the wheelhouse too. Look at that. That's a nice little trade. Hmm. That's nice. I hope somebody got that one. I just missed getting filled on that one overnight. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's better to miss than take bad trades, but yeah. I mean, it filled. It's definitely, I mean, if you would have drawn it, and again, every broker's a little bit different. It may not have, but that's a nice little trade. Again, the zone was established at, like 11 o'clock, or what? 9 o'clock last night is where that push came in at. And again, as it pushed away, it's like kind of like, that's a decent top. That's a great shaped candle, right? And again, it touched 12 pips worth of risk. You pull the trigger on those suckers. And again, right at 2:30. So European Open, you were out at by 3:30. 1 hour candle. That's an easy 40 pips, right? That's an easy 40 pips. Yeah, I wish I had seen that one. You saw it, just didn't get it. That's probably even worse, Jeff. I should stop talking about it now. Right? I kind of feel guilty now because I'm like, man, I wish I had caught that one. That was easy. And you're like, yeah, I missed it. My bad, Jeff. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm not trying to make it worse. Rub salt in the wound. But that's a nice one. Yeah, those are the trades. Like, man, you do these trades, you set these up late at night, you pull the trigger on, it's 12 pips worth of risk. You wake up and you're like, woo, 40 pips, I'm done. Right? And again, you expected it to fail. Look, 1, 2, 3, right? There's your 3 hits. It pulled back up again. 4. It's like, man, if that does come up there, I mean, that's like it's a gift from the trading gods. Wow. I missed that one. One day Kip will sleep through the middle of the night again. I keep telling myself that. Yeah. Anyway, right now, again, we talked about 122.70 yesterday. It is a level that we hit. We did kind of spike down here. It's going to be a target first, so it's not going to be a number one entry. It's going to be a level that we look for it to bounce off of, come back up, and then hit. And you need a green, red, green candle pattern. You can do it on the 15 if you want, just so it doesn't take as much time. No, we're not playing with that. No. Daddy's coffee is off limits. Yeah, you can play with that glass, but you cannot play with Daddy's coffee. Yeah. So I would say look for a bounce off of 122.70, but make sure you get a confirmation bounce. Don't take it on the first time, right? Pound yen. Oh my God, look at that. Imagine this. We're back at 160 again. So yesterday we were sitting right here. We said, hey, listen, we probably got a top in here. It's not great. If we can get the 161, that's awesome. We're probably, we're going to shoot for 160. And again, we're at 159.90. Again, 160 is a huge deal for this pair. Again, it's not like the pound is setting any trails on fire right now. This one also, actually, no, you know what? This was a little harder, right? 3 o'clock brought it up. The 7 o'clock is what turned and rolled it. So it's more of a yen play on this one. But yeah, I mean, we're waiting. Here's top, here's bottom, right? Or here's top, here's bottom. So yeah. Yeah. See, 160, guys. I mean, this is the thing. 160 is such a magnet, right? I mean, there's not really any great news, and it just ground its way, kind of pulled back at 5:30, 7 o'clock, comes around right back down to 160. And now we're like kind of starting to chop around the 160 mark. So, no, it's me. Your trading's excellent. I was not awake. Use limit entry with if and then OCO exits. I know that violates case. Waiting to confirm. Now, everything's not confirmed. I mean, confirm, it's literally up to you guys. And that's, Jeff, I mean, that's why I give you guys 3 ways to do it, right? Right. That's why we have a number 1, a number 2, a number 3 with confirmations and things like that. And again, something like that. I mean, going into the future, if you see something like that, those are nice shaped candles, right? No matter where you draw it. I mean, I would draw this one here, right? The reason I draw it here is because, again, bottom, and that's where the explosion starts off of. You could have drawn it here, right? Right? But this is the actual green candle, right? So either one, it really doesn't matter. One just takes a little bit less risk. But remember, right now, what kind of trend are we in, right? We're obviously in a downtrend, right? I mean, I guess actually it's here, right? We're in a downtrend, right? All your highs, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Those are the ones where we're willing to take a number 1 entry, right? especially with 12 pips worth of risk. It's not bad, right? Now, a counter, right? If you were saying, hey, listen, here's my OCO down here, right? Right? Actually, it'd be an OSO, right? Order sends order on this one. But if you're waiting for it, right? And it's a reversal, that's where a lot of times people will take the confirmation. Why? Because you are calling a bottom. And remember, most of the time it touches, and then that's where it shows you that the reversal is coming in. But something when it's with the trend, and you know you have nothing over here in the way, what's the risk, right? What's the risk? It's not that much, right? Again, 12 pips is rather small. You're not, and again, you're going with the trend, and all you're doing is taking advantage of a pullback, right? A pre-market move, right? Because again, this is a session open, a European session open. That what did the market do to prepare ahead of time? The market shot it straight back up into a level of sellers that had, again, nice candles, nice explosion out at a session open. Those are the ideal ones. So again, people get a little bit too conservative when you're with the trend, and it's a common mistake, right? I've done it in the past too, so don't think that I'm perfect. I've made the same mistake too. I've gotten a little bit too conservative with it when I really shouldn't have, right? When it's with trend. Again, reversal trend, you want to make sure there's a little bit more confirmation in there, right? So, but again, all that's written in your trading plan. You should have a trading plan that tells you how to do it. Again, we're at 160. I'm waiting for this to come down to 159. We'll probably have there's going to be a little bit of a hiccup right here, right? Right, there's going to be hiccups right in here. So, but not there yet. Yeah. Yeah. And again, remember the story, right? The trend is your friend until the bend at the end. But remember, that's why we kind of use, that's why we kind of use different tools out there to kind of, we're not just randomly picking it, right? All right, so dollar CAD. Look at this. Dollar CAD went up. It did trigger yesterday at 9:30. And again, had you got into it, you were out on the downside. Then when it started the base, you're like, oh yeah. But it never pulled back. It went up to the 61.8, and what did it do? Look at this. Look at the 61.8. Chop, 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 chop. You're like, yo, I'm out of this trade. We got like 6 hours of chopping in the zone. You're like, yeah, no, this one's getting smoked. And it did. And again, it didn't give us a pullback. It did break. You're like, oh yeah, please pull back. Please pull back. It pulled back here. It never really pulled back to the zone. You're like, man. But yeah, when you see this, it's like, yo, nope, no, I'm not interested. Right? They're just eating through those orders, right? Yeah. Now you could have taken it, again, when it popped out the top side if you really wanted to, but again, a little bit riskier with a 78 sitting right there behind it. Since that time, it is, gone up. It popped all the way up. And again, I'm okay with this candle. I like when the green candle is the top one, but I'm actually okay with this one. I think that's decent. Again, we had this kind of bounce off 133. We were talking about that forever, and it finally did it right down. Whoops, cancel. Here. We can just clear all these. Sorry, I only had one hand. Nope. Pull that one. Again, definitely a no-no. We'll leave it there. And we'll pull it. And let's pull this up. And go up. And look at that. So, could we be in an area where we start to roll over right now? We potentially could be, but I think a lot of this is going to depend on oil, right? The CAD needs something to make it strong. Right now, you're seeing dollar weakness, which again, we talked about dollar weakness now, so the European market can take the dollar higher, so we can short the dollar tomorrow for news, right? But dollar CAD is 0.03 movement right now. Big spike up and right back down. But we are at the 50, so there will be buyers coming in right now, right? This is one of those ones, I don't like it as much because, again, it's very easy to define where the level of risk is on this one. Again, if you're going to do a long trade on this one, which I'm not really comfortable with. There's 1 to 3. You can see it's past this level. Now, again, established, cleared, established. So it's technically not something we really want to stop. It's not something we want to play with, right? So, Kip, stop. Okay? No, you're gonna mute the microphone. Everybody's gonna get mad. So I'd be cautious with the long out of there. Could it? Sure, it could. Absolutely. I mean, it did. It was a stabilization point. You will have fib traders getting here at the 50, but is there many buyers left in there? Probably not. It just spent way too much time there, So I just be cautious. I think this one probably rolls down. I think maybe over here at the 61.8, right? Maybe over here at the 61.8. Maybe it's a 61.8. So not bad. All right, dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss came up. Here's the level we were talking about yesterday, and I'm not sure why I didn't mark the top of that. It's weird. Um, there's the top of the candles, and there's the top of the motion. It's kind of weird. I must have clicked it. Anyway, it did not get stopped out. It lived. You could have taken this one the same exact way. I'll retract this a little bit. You could have said, "Hey, wait a second. There's a decent level, right? We know we're turning. I need a confirmation." Well, there's your confirmation right there, right? Green, or red, green, and then boom, you could have taken it here, or again taken the small level and went straight back down again. So in reverse, it's done. There's not much I can do with it right now. It's already out, but that was the level that we talked about yesterday. Had you taken it off the full level, which again, it did come up there at, again, it was a European-based kind of reversal for the morning. Had you taken this one with the big zone or the small zone, it doesn't matter either way. There's the 1 to 3 with the big zone. So, and again, the big zone was only 12 pips. When I say big, yeah, it's whatever. But 38 pips profit. Again, you would have been out at 8:30 this morning, so before any of the news started. So yeah, buddy. Yeah. So where we are right now, I think we're waiting for a reversal. Or again, we'll see how far it pushes. I think this old level down here, it's okay. There was a nice strong push off of it. It's hit there a few times, so we need to be a little bit cautious with that. But right now, people are going to look at this one and say, okay, there's your top, there's your bottom. I'm right at the 50. Yeah, there's some buyers in there, but again, we've already pushed below those buyers, so they're not holding anymore. Anybody that took a 50% retracement got stopped out. Maybe they're a little bit positive now, but it depends on how far their stop was down. The 61.8, there is a small level down there, so maybe it's a little bit of a hiccup. I mean, even the 61.8 and the 78, right? The 78.6, there's a little hiccup. So, I mean, we got to chunk through this, and get down to this one. A lot in there. But again, when we do have a reversal, it's nice that we all have all red candles. So I still think what's going to happen with this one is I still think we see some European strength come in, and that'll be right around there. Wherever we're at, it could be either of these two. It could be all the way down. I think that's where we start to see the rally up in time for the news. And maybe we're just down here. Maybe it holds firm and jolts is what sends it higher, right? And then we see it kind of roll back down again, or vice versa. Maybe it's the exact opposite. Maybe jolts comes in, it spikes it down, and then FOMC is the one that's going to turn and roll it back up, right? I think either of them are very high probabilities tomorrow. Dollar, yen. Look at that. We're still stuck around that 130. I mean, here's the level from yesterday, right? Yesterday morning we were sitting. Yesterday we were sitting right here, and what did it do? Went up into that level, right? Gave us that little confirmation. So again, you could have gotten the trade here. Went down and didn't actually get out for the full 1 to 3. But like I said, I would have probably shortened the risk on this one. I didn't take this one either. Again, too much stop back and forth for me in the overnight. But that was the original trade. That's kind of what your risk would have looked like, right? So it should have looked like 1 to 3 was really, really back down to 130, and we've gone through, punch grab these buyers, and we're back up again. So I think this one tomorrow, I think is going to be very challenging. I think this is going to be literally. I think there's going to be a lot of whipsaws. I'm going to pull these off. Again, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take that off as well. This one is going to be rough because we got some data that, okay, is the proxy going to lead, or is the actual currency pair going to lead? I think you just need to be really, really careful with this one. I think this could throw a lot of people for kind of a wrench, throw a monkey wrench in your trading for tomorrow. Maybe if it pushes up clear to the 130, that gives us a good, kind of a good spot. I just, again, it's going to be, what does the currency market believe, right? Versus what does the retail trader in the stock market believe? Because remember, the yen will act as a proxy over there, right? They'll take the Dow, and that will kind of not dictate, but that'll change the trajectory of this one. So again, use caution with this. I like euro dollar, pound dollar. Actually, I really like too. And even Aussie, looks so much better than this one right now. So just use caution if you're going to trade this one tomorrow morning and in the overnight. But again, it's bouncing, and like I said, 130. Actually, this should say 131, not 130. Like, why is there two? Wait, that's so weird. Look at this. See how this is 130? But when I click on it, because the text. That's why. It's not dynamic text. All right. I'm like, come on, what's going on here? I think both those are big levels to watch out for. And actually, you know what? We should probably do that one too. 29, right, top. Right now, this is our range. We're smack dead in the middle. So I think, and again, you may say, why 129? Well, 129 obviously is psychological level, not as big as 130. It is a 61.8 pullback with a confirmation, and it's already hit it one time. So, a couple different reasons why we need to watch out for that area. I think this is kind of, you know, have to see what the Europeans do with this one. All right, let's go over oil. So, oil popping from 5:30 this morning. We talked about potentially getting a short in this one. And again, if you did that, when it popped up and came up into here and started the base, you're like, oh, it's probably going to get, probably going to continue to go higher. This is one of those ones, if you did get into it for a Harry Potter trade, when it kind of didn't quite leave the way that we wanted, maybe you took a small loss on this one, right? Once it started to kind of chop back and forth, it's kind of like, no, not so much. The other thing that kind of scared me on this one is we had a level sitting right above it. When you start forming a base, you're like, yeah, it's going to break. But typically that's where your near-term base is, not where the original level was all the way back here. It should have looked actually more like this, right? And you can see it hit it, came back down, hit it, came back down, hit it, came all the way back down again. It's like, listen, this is the third time it's not going to hold again, and it didn't. It came up, opened, and then took off through. So, had you been watching this one, and again, this was like an 8:30 morning trade. Probably, again, on a conservative level, you got stopped out at break even on it. Because again, after 3 hits into it, again, it was a decent reversal. It's a level you need to mark off right now. I think tomorrow, with this rallying the way that it is, there are a couple small levels here. I think, again, you can see I just drew it all the way down. We got that 61.8 now, slicing through that 80.20. Okay, so if we can get to 80.20, I think that could be the next area where we're looking to take some type of a trade. And we marked off that 80.20 yesterday. That's nothing. That's nothing new. Yesterday morning we were sitting right here. Right, we're sitting. Where are we at? Hold on. Right here. Right, so it wasn't really a big deal, but now that we bring it down, look at that 61.8 slicing right through. So that's our next area that I'm waiting for. And again, who knows? Maybe they make a comment tomorrow that, buddy, stop. No, that's dangerous. Don't eat that. This will hurt you. Okay. Here, you want this? You can have this. Ooh, what's that? All right, natural gas. So natural gas yesterday, we said we were looking for kind of a bounce off of 261. You can see it got sloppy, kind of hit, pop, and then came a little bit lower. That's that pattern. You can see it right here, right there. Not super clean though, unfortunately, and it is higher. We did expect it to be higher today a little bit, just based off of what we saw yesterday. No, we're not going to put that in my coffee. Stop. I think we're going to be kind of range bound right now. We do have the inventory later this week. But right now, I think, again, all eyes as far as energy goes are going to be on that, JMC meeting tomorrow and kind of see what kind of headlines they kind of say in there. That's obviously more oil versus natural gas. But again, energy in general should kind of move in lockstep. Do we take it if it does turn and roll back down to the 261? Yeah, if we can get a confirmation in there, it's probably not bad. If we can get a break above the this 274 or 275 number, if it pulls back, I think we have the ability to fill this gap. Stop. You did it again. I think coming back up to this level, which would be a 23.6 target, at 284, right? I think that's probably the next target for this one to the top side. If we can get through, we got to get through the sellers here, right? We got to get through the sellers. So these are kind of the two levels I'm looking at. I don't think either of them is stellar. I think there's better opportunities out there, but I know some people really like natural gas, so you can trade that one. Gold going crazy. And again, what do we got humming down here? Yeah, Trepid start. This one really, again, Europeans started here. It was already kind of halfway through the move. Shot it down and shot it back up again. So really, gold is up 0.11. It's not really doing anything. You're not looking at this and being like, wow, gold is just monstrous today. Nah, it was kind of just an easy cycle through, right? Cycled from midnight down, turned around at the basically European session, U.S. session. We're exactly where we were yesterday, 0.13. Big whoop, right? Not any major changes. We should start seeing this prepared today. Now, the narrative right now for gold is if gold is strengthening, that is like, oh, that means the dollar is weakening. Yeah. What did we talk about? we talked about a U.S. session dollar weakness, a European session dollar strength, followed by a short when they raise interest rates tomorrow. Gold is kind of following that path as well. Now, let me remove these from the last kind of news release over here, how it drove up. I think we could do the same exact thing. So the hard part about this one is there's really great news tomorrow morning, but there's also really great news tomorrow afternoon. So we know that Wednesday at 14, we know that there's big news right there. We also know that there is big news right there. And we know the European market opens right there. So you're going to have this area here, followed by this area here. Okay. And that's going to be the way to play gold, is kind of see what happens in these two. Now, again, today, I'm cool if this keeps going higher. And I want to see if this one reverses back down again in preparation for all the news at 8:30, where it goes back up again. And then maybe potentially comes right back down again right afterwards. Right? So gold, we're about 24 hours too shy on this one. Not much we can do. Love that it's going up because it is meeting what our narrative looks like right now. Silver looks exactly the same. Now, we talked about silver kind of bouncing. It didn't go all the way up. It really kind of stalled, got stuck. And then again, midnight went down, grabbed 20. Here it is, grabbed 23 again and pushed back up. And we're in that 23.60 range right now. Basically the median of all this basing, right? So kind of the same thinking on this one. 14 is right there. 10 o'clock or 8:30 is right. Actually, it's 10 tomorrow. Yeah, 10. Right there. Yeah, and again, there's really an 8:15 too. So yeah, there's a bunch of bounces for tomorrow. But I like this high. With this being high up here, I think this is decent. Again, there's a lot of, you got a lot of selling going on up in here in this area. Ideally, if I could get up to 24 tomorrow, I think that would be a great short. But we'll see what it does now. It's kind of sitting in the middle between the 23 and 24. What we got here? Our friends Apple not moving much. Tesla moving a little bit, but obviously it's a big pullback. VIX, look at that. Told you VIX was going to continue to deteriorate. It is. It's down, right? Remember, it was up 1.6. Now it's down 0.6, right? It just continued to reverse. And again, a little bit of a chop. There's not a lot of news. And again, this is not a buy and sell type scenario. It should continue to deteriorate for today. And again, market in the green today. It's kind of what the narrative we're mentioning, right? In the green today for red tomorrow. As the Fed basically says, yeah, we're going to raise it, and we're going to raise it again, and we're going to raise it again too. Even though you believe that we're going to cut, that's not what we're going to do. So yeah. Dollar, again, still flat. We talked about this. Went right back up in the top third and then pulled right back down into no man's land, right? So we're doing all these basing in no man's land, getting ready to kind of base, drive down. And then again, there's that dollar. Talked about dollar weakness, European session dollar strength, followed by a roll back to the downside. So it's dollars meeting our narrative as well. Let's see what we got here. Surly says, yeah, 950. Yeah, this sucks. Bye, buds. Chill. Yeah, those poor 23.6 traders, right? Anybody that was trading the 23.6 just got blown through. So 9:15 candle was red. So you were looking for long opportunity. 1, 2, 3. We weren't even concerned about that. Yeah, we'd be looking for profit here, right? There's where we'd be looking for profit. But unfortunately, the pullback, here's the 9:30 candle. The pullback's all the way down here. So again, 9:15 green, red, looking for long trades. It was a great long trade. It just didn't come to a level where we could grab anything from it. So, yeah, I would say look for some caution in this area, right where we're at right now, right? It is a 50% retracement. Obviously, they took a whack at 23.6. It didn't work. They're going to take a whack at 50, and then they'll take a whack up here at 61.8 if this one fails. Let's see. Again, overnight high to low. Yeah, people are going to be looking at that pivot. Yeah, I'd say that, yeah, down there. And look, the 61.8 goes right through this zone. So, question is, will these guys at 40.33 be able to hold? Again, decent pop. Right, decent pop. Even though the 61.8 level is much nicer. So, let's see. But yeah, again, they set up for a reversal right now. No opening print. Let's see what we got here. 9:15. 9:30 is a green. Looks exactly the same. Again, all this basing. Did we break through the confirmation? We did. So yeah, so we were looking for all the way up in here. Really, I mean, here's your next level of confirmation. So this one you could have. I mean, some people may have taken an attempt on this and said, "All right, well, listen, there's our pullback, right? We left, we pull back down, I'm getting long." You may have gotten to do that one. You could have tried that one. Very aggressive. I'm not gonna lie, it's quite an aggressive entry for that. But again, remember when you were with trend, you can be a little bit more aggressive. But it did obviously opening print. It would have had to come all the way back down again, and it didn't come back down. It was red. 9:15 was red. We were looking for longs. It just didn't pull back to a great level. So, sucks. YM. Oh, look at this. YM. Yeah, the 9:15, right? 9:15 was red. We were looking for green. We knew that we had a level sitting right here. And it ended up tagging it at 9:30, so it did come down and touch it. Let's see, where was our 1 to 3? There you go. There you go. 9:25, also red. Right down. Grab the level, right? And then took off at your 1 to 3. So there you go. YM again. I think that's like 2 or 3 days in a row. YM has kind of crushed it. So far, 1 out of 3 entries and 1 for 1 on, full profit target. And this is the weakest of all of them. It's only up 0.18 versus everything else. It's the weakest of all of them, and it's still going. So again, not bad. Let's look at the Russell. Russell will go through the 15 minutes. So close. Russell had the gap, but I hate to say it. That's where you would have drawn that one. Right? That's where you would have drawn it, and it 9:15. You were looking for longs. 10 o'clock came down and just missed it. So, yeah, unfortunately, the opening print would have been down here. It didn't go that far. It did give us 2 reds. We were looking for a green. Again, this level, I wouldn't have been super concerned because there was your level of basing. There was your confirmation. There was your break through the top. So you were looking for somewhere up in this range. And again, that's what it bounced off of. You can see we had the 119 drawn, talking about the base here that it touched. And that's kind of what we're bouncing off of right now. Russell is the strongest at 1.25. But let's get your fingers out. The birds will tear you up. Yes, it's okay, but they'll bite your fingers. Yeah. Hey, much better me yell than them biting your fingers. Oh, Bub Buds. Oh, Bub Buds. Oh, Mr. Buds. Here, play with this. What's this? Here. You want that? There you go. Bub Buds, trust me, you don't want the birdies to bite you. So, looks like 1 for 4 on opening prints, 1 for 1 on entries. Again, this one got close. There was a 10 o'clock pullback. You may, depending on your broker, how these were drawn, maybe you got into it. Again, ES stocks wouldn't really have given you much. And again, we're at an area right now where we're looking for reversals. NQ also reversing. And again, it's not. Here, I can. There, now it's completely flat. Again, they're all showing reversals. We're right at that 10:40 time frame too. So they're all kind of right there. So take it for what it's worth. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and do our drawing for today. Ernest was smart today. He got his tickets in early, so he didn't get, accidentally booted out. Wasn't me. I don't know how to do it. But yes, it was suspect. It was very suspect, Ernest. I'm on your side on this one. It was suspect. Everybody knows you wait till the end. We knew that you were on it's very odd. We knew that you were here, but then magically at the last moment, you were not here, right? So, yeah, I got to call it out, Neuro. Because, my man was wearing tinfoil all day yesterday because of it, So, all right, let's close it down. Winner of today's drawing is Neuro. Neuro, again, he played the statistics. Guys. And actually, for Neuro, you're getting confident now, my friend. You're getting confident. You won yesterday, right? All right, you won yesterday. Confidence, my friend. Normally, you do 5 on your second day. I'm just telling you. When you're on your second, 5 normally is what you do. You only do 4 now, so, Yeah, I'm just saying. Just saying. The confidence, guys. Gonna have to get his confidence and kind of knock him down a little bit, right? There, let's give him his 100, right? Oops. There we go. All right. So that's it for today. As I said, actually, let me see if there's any news real quick. Bonds, decline, nothing else. Yeah. So again, a lot of news tomorrow. The CPI stuff for the euro is going to start jacking that around. JMC, look for some headlines about stability. Don't think it's going to be a major mover, but there could be a major headline. Non-farm, wouldn't be surprised if this comes in higher than expected. JOLTS, extremely important. This is what the Fed was looking at. They talked about the labor market. JOLTS is exactly what they're looking at. And ISM dropping down a little bit. Remember, below 50 shows contraction. So, yeah, a lot of big headline news tomorrow. You see a lot, and when I say red, a lot of important news followed up. And again, we'll talk from now till then. This Fed funds rate. And everybody's going to be talking about that one. So with that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys again tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for joining me today. And again, apologize if you guys could hear Kip. Like I said, he just wants his voice to be heard too. So, yep, there you go, buds. They all heard you. Right? A bop? Can you give him a bop? No bops today. All right, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Everybody have good trading, and I'll catch you there. Wait, hold on. What? Whenever Brian says things like euro, dollar, euro, yen, I hear neuro. Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.